In this video, we'll get started on building a customer support chatbot. We'll go over the files needed to run the space on Hugging Face, and we will also review the Python code we need to have this chatbot work for us. So this is how our customer service assistant chatbot looks like. To have this space on our own workspace, we can either click on the three dot here and click on clone repository, or we can start a new space. So for that, we need to go to our workspace. And from here, I can click on my profile picture, go to new space. I can select the name of the space, choose the license that I want. We also need to pick an SDK, a software development kit. So in our case, we want to use Gradio. We have an option to select the hardware for our space and decide whether we want it to be public or private. Once we're done, we can click on Create Space. I already have this space, so I don't need to create it. Let's get back to it. Now let's check out this chatbot and see how it works. Let's say hello. Hello there, I'm the chatbot from the Imaginary Mechanic Shop. I'm here to answer any questions you may have about our services. How can I help you? So let me ask it, tell me about the history of the shop. And the chatbot provides some information about when the workshop was founded and how many years the mechanics have been working there. Let's ask about the operating hours. And it will respond properly with the operating hours of the shop. What services do you provide? So it's tell us about different services they provide, like oil changes, brake repairs, tire rotation, and etc. All right, now let's go into the files and see what we need to have in order to make this chatbot work. So the first file that we want to see is the Git attributes. This file is configuring Git Large File Storage, or LFS, which is an extension to Git that enables you to efficiently manage large files and binary assets. This configuration can be used for a variety of file types and paths, specifically targeting binary files and large data sets commonly used in machine learning, data science, and software development. This helps to keep the size of the Git repository manageable and improves the performance for cloning and fetching changes. The next file is the Imaginary Mechanic Shop CSV. So here we can see different questions and answers about our Imaginary Mechanic Shop. This is the file that the large language model will use as a reference, and it will be able to respond to any question that can be answered based on the information provided in this file. We also have a README file which provides different information about the application, the software development kit versions, and the author. The requirements.txt file is commonly used in Python projects to specify a list of dependencies that need to be installed for the project to run properly. Each line in the file specifies a package and optionally a version or a range of acceptable versions for that package. And finally, there is the app.py file, which has all the code we need to run the application on the Hugging Face space. So let's dig deeper into the Python code itself. In the beginning, we are importing different libraries. We're importing Gradio for the user interface. We're importing OpenAI for the large language model, which powers our chatbot. And we are also importing OS, CSV, and JSON for file handling. We're also setting the API in an encrypted way. This has to do with the security because we don't want to have our API key be visible inside the code. I will explain this in the next video when I talk about best practices in developing LLM-powered applications. So first of all, we want to define the CSV file input path, so the large language model knows where to access this file. Then we initialize an empty list to store the data. Then we open the CSV file for reading. We create a CSV reader object, and we iterate through the CSV data and append it to the list. Next, we convert the list of dictionaries to a JSON string. Our respond function is the function that takes the message from the user and generates a proper response based on the input text. So we set up our JSON file. We provide a guideline for the chatbot in order to tell it how to behave and how to respond to questions. This also is another part that I'm going to dig deeper into in the next video, as it has to do with prompt engineering and making sure that our chatbot produces proper responses. Then, in order to produce a response, we call openai.completion.create, and inside here, we can decide which engine to use. So here we are using TextDaVinci 003. We identify what our prompt is, and we can set different settings for the model. For example, I'm setting the max token to be 300 and the temperature to be 0.1. Next, we extract and print the generated text. And at the end, we are creating a Gradio block. So in that block, we have the chatbot, we have a text box for user's message, and we have a clear button. Whenever the user clicks submit, we call the respond method by passing the message and the chatbot history up to that point. And in order to launch all of that, we just write demo.launch. So in conclusion, in this video, we got started on building a customer support chatbot. We went over the files needed to run the space on Hugging Face, and we reviewed the Python code we need for building the application.